Okay, well, this is a great pleasure for me because this is a person that I know and that I love, and she's my friend. So Ianna Frisby is a Sacramento art professor, sculptor, working in Sacramento, and she maintains a studio at Verge, just like I do. She received her BFA from the Humboldt State University in 1998 and an MFA from Cranbrook Academy of Art in 2005. And although ceramics is her main practice, she enjoys embroidering, printmaking, mixed media sculpture, found and altered objects, public art projects, and Ukrainian egg dyeing. So good morning, Ianna.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
It worked.
It works. We're doing the thing.
We're doing the thing.
I'm setting the timer so I don't get sidetracked, because if I'm talking to you, it's I might.
Yeah.
So, Ianna, tell me about your current body of work.
Okay, cool. The most current body of work that I am doing is I'm still kind of working with geological stuff. So I think the last thing I made was another soundstone, and I'm kind of making them at different sizes right now. So I'm playing with scale. And let me show you kind of one here. So they're kind of like this size I started out with. And yeah, this one here is raccoon, I believe. Anyway, so they're kind of exploring what clay likes to do, which is super malleable and it's part of the earth. So I really love all the connections that this new body of work is making. And it also kind of deals with like terraforms, I think. So like stalagmites, stalactites, drippy things, oozy things. And there's just some really great stages of clay that I'm discovering that I hadn't worked with before. And it's just super exciting. So I'm kind of currently working on that stuff right now.
I love hearing your excitement about this. Tell us a little bit about your artistic process. What's that like?
Well, a lot of it is organic. But I think for me, there has to be some sort of a technical challenge that occurs in every piece. And so, especially this latest body of work is much more about a journey that I take with each piece. And so that sometimes will be like, I'll be doing wheel throwing or hand building or mixture, or there'll be some daredevil stunt involved in my sculpture at some point. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, as everybody that does ceramics knows. You know, it's like there's this kind of suspension of disbelief, you know, when you're kind of battling gravity and challenging things like that. And, you know, optimistic fatalism gets you so far. So yeah, but it's just really kind of organic, and I respond to each stage too. So I send my stuff through multiple firings at different temperatures, and then I do what are called cold treatments. And I'm really into cold treatments, which are just, it's a fancy word for like, you'd never put it back in the kiln. So as far as I'm concerned, I think that clay it's got such a big spectrum of possibilities, and some people are more like traditional and like pottery and stuff. And I love pottery. I'm not as crazy about what I make in pottery, but I love the wheel. I love doing, you know, it's really, really enjoyable. So I try to add elements of play as like, I think Sister Karita Kent called it plork. Can we bring that back?
Yeah, I'm for
Let's
that
bring
word.
it back. Let's make t-shirts or something.
Okay. Yeah.
Make it so, number one. Anyway, your turn.
Okay. I'm looking at images on your website while you're talking, and it's just fun to kind of think of your work as to visit you as an outsider a little bit. And I'm just kind of struck on how much different this work looks than the work you were making when I met you.
Yeah.
And you're still the same person, but we evolve and change, and it's just really incredible to see how much your work has changed over the years. So what keeps you motivated to keep your artwork, like to keep going on your artwork, to create it?
That's a hard one, especially these days. And I'm just going to echo what a lot of other artists have been saying. I tuned in yesterday, and that was really cool to hear what people had to say about their processes too, and what keeps them motivated. And, I just think that you have to wrestle with your identity as an artist and like what the hell you're doing, and I think it is so easy to rationalize it away. Like you can rationalize your creativity away. It doesn't make money, right? Like that's not a motivator. Like the work doesn't really sell that much. I'm also not a great seller, like that's not at the top of my list. So I'm not motivated by that. And I think it's just, if I don't do it, I feel flat. I feel super flat. And it's just kind of amazing how much it breathes life into somebody's work. It makes it more multidimensional and wondrous, I think. I think that just being in the day-to-day world, maybe not so much these days, but like when the mundane was occurring, like it was just kind of like this something other thing that you can do that most people don't do. And it feels really super special. It feels like going, discovering that cool little record shop in the basement of somewhere. And I love that area. I love to play in that area. So, yeah, and inspiration comes from different things. Like sometimes it's a podcast, right? So that sent me on a crazy trajectory several years ago to make that archaeacoustics piece. That was really, way beyond my skill level. So I met new friends that helped me with things and left stuff that was professional to the professionals, and collaborated a bit. That's really helpful too. And then also like I just like looking at things and objects and paintings, and just I reflect a lot. Like I see something and I have a reaction to it, and I take that in, and sometimes it's a quickie, and sometimes it's a longie.
That was a great long answer that covered a lot of territory. I was thinking about your mentioning the podcast that you listened to that started your archaeoacoustics piece, and how the soundstones, to me, they still kind of relate to that work.
Yeah, totally.
So then the next question on the list of approved questions was something about what influences or inspires your work. You started to talk about it, but maybe tell us a little bit about what, I know that there's a story behind some of what's inspiring these current soundstones. Mm-hmm. Like what like places you might have visited or things.
Oh, I see where you're going. I see where you're going with it. Yeah. Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, so speaking of journeys, right? Traveling is really has an impact on my work, and it has kind of created a new meaning and purpose for traveling. Again, not doing much of that these days. My traveling these days mostly is inner journeys, I guess. But as far as like where I've been, it started kind of in Belize, and we went into some caves, some kind of underwater caves in a canoe, and or underground. I guess it's not really underwater if you're in a canoe. But it was really amazing to see like ancient Mayan artifacts and ala jars, things that related to ceramics as well, like these objects that were sacred. And there was like this, it was kind of like this aesthetic experience, really. So like this moment that crystallizes everything, and it just kind of like, it lit me up. It just lit me up. And I was like, I know exactly what I want to work with when I get home, And it was also around that time that Trump was like elected, I think. He was like seriously, getting closer. And I think everybody at that point, or not everybody clearly, but I just wanted to go in a hole just to like, crawl into a safe cavern and listen to the water drip that's been dripping for millennia, and think about the geological time and things that really super matter, and there's peace in that, I think. And yeah. So last time I went to Thailand, and that was dope. Oh my God. I can't get over Thailand. So I've been working, as everybody knows, on a residency to Thailand, where I would take a month and go to Chiang Mai in northern Thailand. But I don't even know if that's going on anymore. I don't know what's going to survive, you know? So it's just, at this point, I think like fluidity is really key. And just, you know, the change, the rate and the pace of which change happens right now is just ridiculous. You know, it says that you get into a head spin about stuff too. So
Okay, pretend like everything's fine and
okay.
you already got to go to Thailand again and you got to do Chiang Mai. What's the next place on your bucket list?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, you know, I think that there are places, I think, like, I would say Arizona, New Mexico. Like I wanna like check out Anasazi, uh, Adobe. I mean, Africa too is kind of amazing, but that's such a long shot. But there are things that are kind of architectural homestead,
Oh man, Mesa
things.
Verde, you got to go to Mesa Verde. It was amazing.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
I mean, we got a big country here.
yeah.
Hopefully it stays together, but, you know, like there's a lot here that is definitely worth checking out. And I just feel like I'm learning so much about it too. So,
We're getting down to a few minutes here. And I think you'll have a fun answer for this that will surprise people. So I'm sending you a psychic message of the answer I want you to give, but who knows? It's up to you
okay.
to answer
Right,
however you
wait.
want. What? And I
Wait,
think
no, here it is. I got it. The
what's your
answer.
what's your current favorite art material? And I'm going to add the caveat other than clay.
I was trying to do like a whole, like, I know what you're going to ask. Anyway,
I
okay. Yeah,
ruined it. All right.
it's hot glue. It's hot
It's hot
glue.
glue. It's hot glue.
It's hot
You
glue.
guys, it's hot glue.
It's hot glue. Like, it's ridiculous. I am having so much fun with hot glue, and it feels super, it's just fun stuff to work with. And I found a source in Minnesota, and they have all types of hot glue. And so here's an example, because people have questions about it, like, well, how's it, you know, how does it stay? And like, does it stay on how long, you know, the longevity of it and stuff. And like, I made this piece, I don't know if you can see it, but I made this piece like 3 years ago, and it still has like a dangly of hot glue hanging off what you can see. There it is.
Yeah.
Right. So like, I've been kind of drawing and dripping and sticking things in and embedding with hot glue. And it's just been so much fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
Ianna, if people want to learn more about your work or about you, what should they do? Oh good, she's gonna, okay, hold it still.
Okay.
So she's got iannanovafrisby.com. It's a beautiful website. It's worth visiting. And she's got Instagram, Ianna Nova. She's got the best name in the world. And then it looks like she's selling some tiles today.
Yeah.
And she's going to be live streaming from 1 to 4 today.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got an Instagram that says, oh, I got 2 different things here. At Ianna Frisby Artist. Oh, that's your Facebook thing. Okay, I'm just anyway, I'm just going to stop narrating what you're holding up and people can read it.
Okay, so what I plan to do during my 1 to 4 is I'm going to create another soundstone. So I have a bunch of clay set up, and I'm going to do hand building as well as wheel throwing. So I'm happy to share knowledge, information, and answer questions and converse with you guys on my Ianna Frisby Artist Facebook later.
Well, that's terrific. I hope that everybody will visit you. I think it's worth visiting you. And I'm glad we had this moment today.
Yeah, thanks. Yay.
All right. Oh, I'm going to stop that sound I'm making. How do I stop it? Hold on. All right, I'll get better at that. All right. It's time for me to introduce our next person, I believe. Thank you, Ianna.